Hi, I'm Janae, and on behalf of Designs by JuJu, I'd like to thank you for making a purchase on our website. Whether you're brand new to machine embroidery and have never downloaded a zip before, or you're a seasoned stitcher but you're still curious about all the PDFs included with your download, this video is for you. I'm going to walk through the process step by step from downloading from your order, extracting files from the zip, and then talk through all the PDF documentation that's included. Let's head to my computer. I have just completed placing an order, and so on the thank you screen there will be a button that you can click to download your designs immediately. So I'm going to click that. It will take me to my order page, and you will see that I've purchased two different products. One is an In the Hoop project, and then another is just an embroidery design set. And I want to talk through the differences between what we include for both of these types of items. When I click the pink download button, you'll see that I have the option to either download all machine formats, or I can select a single format that I need for my particular embroidery machine model. First, I'm going to select all formats. When I do so, I get a dialog box that pops up asking me where I want to save the design. This may happen to you, or depending on your browser settings, it may automatically download to your downloads folder. I have a specific folder set up on my desktop to save this for the video, so I'm going to save it here. You would choose wherever in your folders, wherever you would want to save your file. So I will click Save. And for the purpose of the video, so I can show you the difference, I'm also going to download the PES zip. You'll see that when the dialog box pops up now, there is a -PES at the end of the zip file. That will be the distinction between the two in my folders. I'm going to show you the difference between what the downloads are for that. And then for this applique design set, I'm just going to go ahead and download all formats. Now that the files are downloaded to my computer, I can navigate to the folder where they're saved. And I can do this a couple different ways. In Google Chrome, there's a download button up at the top right. And so if I click that, instead of selecting the item that I downloaded, I'm going to click this folder where it says Show in Folder, and that will open the folder where I've saved my file. I'm going to expand this column so I can see the full file name. So I have the full zip that has the Woodland Fairy Baby Quilt design files. I also have the version that has just the PES files, and then the Spring Splendor applique set that I downloaded. You'll see over here that these are, the type is a compressed zip folder, and the little icon has a zipper. On Windows, you can double click a zip and peek inside to see what's in there. But all the files that are contained in this, the PDFs and all the design files in these folders, are still compressed. I know that because it has a compressed size column, and the ratio of compression is here, and also there's an extract all button at the top. So I'm peeking in these files, but I'm not really accessing them yet. The best thing to do is go back to your main folder, and whenever you click on a zipped folder, you can click this extract all button, and it will create an unzipped folder where you can access everything freely. And generally, it's going to create that folder exactly in the same place where you are. So I will click extract. It'll do a little bit of work. And then there it is, my folder. So this is the folder after it's been unzipped. It no longer has a zip. And when I open it up, it doesn't have a compressed column here. Let's go back to look at the other zips. Real quick, I'm going to peek inside the PES zip so you can see the only difference here. It still has the same folder of color charts and PDFs, but instead of multiple folders with machine format files, it only has the PES format. I'm not going to bother extracting that one, but let's go ahead and extract the files from our applique set as well. And let's open that folder, and let's just start discussing what we include with our regular applique design sets and embroidery sets. You'll see that there's a folder of color charts at the top, a folder for each set of the machine format. So if I open that, I'll see all the PES files in this folder. There are typically 3 PDFs at the bottom. The first is our terms of use statement, and you probably will rarely access this, but it includes ways that you can communicate with us, links to some basic tutorials, how to use our fonts and embrilliance, and then a link to our terms of use and some copyright statements. So it's important. It is included in all of our files, but it won't be something you regularly read. Just read it once and you'll know. We also have design cards for our design sets and singles. And this is a PDF that will give the product name, what sizes are included, and an image of every file that's included in the set. This is a typical look of a design card for an applique set. If you've purchased an embroidery only set, it may look like this, or if you've chosen an embroidery font, then it will show you the name of the font and then every letter and symbol that is included with purchase. Let's go back to our zip for the applique set. Another PDF that's included is a thumbnails PDF. This will show you a small image of every single file that's included. So that means every size of the design that's included in the set. So we'll see that each applique comes in 4 sizes, the 4x4, 5x7, 6x10, 8x8. This thumbnail image will include the stitch count for that design and the exact dimensions in inches, which is helpful if your hoop sizes for your machine model don't follow the standard measurements that Brother and Baby Lock hoops follow. And so you can actually see, does this 6x10 design, will it fit in my particular hoop? The other very helpful folder that you need to access besides the design files is the folder that holds the color charts. So for our regular applique and embroidery design sets, typically our color charts are a JPEG image that will look something like this. It will have an image of the design at the bottom, and it will have the steps of the design. So this shows that there are 17 color stops. That's when you open this at your machine, you'll have 17 steps in your design file. For applique designs, they will start with a sequence of either pink or green, or depending on the age or original origin of the design file, it may be 2 shades of peach or red and black, but alternating color stops that indicate fabric placement and tack down steps. And then once the fabrics are tacked down, we'll see the sequence of steps for all the embroidered elements and the satin stitches. And there are suggested colors on this color chart. You can get a preview of what the color is. So like this light green in the Floriani polyester thread catalog is called celery and has a number of 244, but again, you don't have to use those exact threads. If you have a different brand, just grab threads that match the fabrics that you choose, and you can use colors similar to this or completely change it up and use jewel tones or muted tones, whatever you'd like to do. But this is important to have at your machine so you can see the sequence of steps in advance. That's a quick summary of the documentation that is included with applique and embroidery design sets and singles on our website. These are products that are standalone designs intended to be stitched on the item of your choice, like a shirt or a towel or a bag, or stitching on fabric that you will then frame or construct into something else. The options are endless. So we include those color charts and the thumbnails file and the design card for your reference, but the choices of materials that you use, the choices of stabilizers that you use will be completely dependent on what it is you're going to make. Now let's look through the zip of a typical In the Hoop project. In the Hoop projects are going to include an instructions PDF. And this is important because you're making a finished product with the embroidery machine. And so we include a lot more details with that. So let's open up a sample set of instructions. Now, we've been in business for 22 years, and the style and look of our instructions for In the Hoop projects has obviously evolved through the years. So when you first open your instructions, it may not look exactly like this, but it will have all the same components as this particular example. The cover page will show a photo of the finished product along with the product name. And then in the following pages, there's going to be tons of helpful information. There may be a design layout. There will be a detailed cutting chart along with the list of supplies needed and some important notes. And depending on the project, this may extend for several pages before we get into the step-by-step photos. In this particular case, we're looking at a quilt that is made with different blocks that are stitched in the hoop. So there'll be step-by-step pictures for how to construct some of the blocks in the project. And then as we continue to go through the step-by-step photos, then once all the blocks are complete, we'll talk through how to lay it out, how to sew them together, how to finish your project. And then it will usually end with the finished product. The instructions are not the only thing that you're going to need to reference when stitching out a project. Let's go up to this note. We'll see down here that it says that this tutorial demonstrates blocks A, K, P, Q, and T. So we don't actually show step-by-step photos for every single block in this project because several blocks have the same general layout. So we're going to show you step-by-step how to do block A, where you tack down, then trim the batting and tack down the background fabric, and then start adding in all the applique fabrics, add some embroidered details, and then demonstrate how to add the top and bottom borders using a method called stitch and flip, and then how to trim that block. There are so many blocks with the same general steps that we don't show you how to do each one step by step, because once you've done one, we're confident you can do the rest. What you're going to need to reference in order to do those other blocks is the color charts. So you're going to go back to your download and look at the folder that has color charts, and you'll see that every single block in the project has a color chart. So here's the color chart for the fairy block. You'll see the first page has a large image of the block along with the list of thread colors. Now, oftentimes in the hoop projects, we're going to alternate between pink, green, and sometimes pink, green, and blue for important fabric placement steps. You don't have to use those pink, green, and blue thread colors for those steps, but then the rest of it is somewhat important. Again, this particular color chart is with the Floriani thread catalog and suggested colors, but obviously if you want your little fairy to have brown hair, you're going to use brown fabric and brown thread. You don't have to use chrome lemon. The following pages provide a thumbnail image of every single step at your machine. So that starts with the stop number. You'll see that there. And then it also gives a little description for what is happening in that step, because sometimes these little images can be hard to see. There's something little going on here with a Cabernet thread color, and so we've got that description that it is a mouth. And this will extend onto as many pages as necessary to complete the block. So again, this color chart can be used side by side with the instructions that show how to stitch block A. But when you're ready to move on to block B, you'll follow the same general guidelines here, but instead you're going to open up the color chart for block B and do the birdhouse block, which you'll see starts with the same basic steps of batting, placement and tack down, background fabric, placement and tack down, all the design elements, and then it ends with the stitch and flip borders. Now, the most important thing you'll need are the design files. So for example, I would open up the PES folder for my machine model. I have a baby lock. Sometimes the files may be further sorted by size. Sometimes they're not. It just depends on the project and how many overall files there are. But let's say I was going to make the 6x10 size. I would open this folder, and this is when I would select these items and then drag and drop them to my USB to take to my machine to stitch out. I prefer to keep all of my design files saved on my computer and only copy the files that I want to stitch to my USB. This helps me make sure I don't accidentally stitch a 5x7 size block when I'm wanting to make the 6x10 size project. You also may prefer to just move a couple at a time instead of all of them. That way you can keep track of what you've done and what you haven't. Just like the applique set I showed you before, this In the Hoop project also includes a thumbnails PDF. And so the way the files are named in this particular project, we have the size of the project listed first. So that clusters all the 5x7 blocks at the beginning and then starts with all the 6x10 blocks. I want to give you one quick tip for why the thumbnails document would be important for an In the Hoop project. Let's take a quick look at this January mini sampler quilt. This project comes in two sizes, one for 6x10 hoop and one for 8x12 hoop. and you'll see that there are blocks of varying sizes. And the reason that this is called the 6x10 size or the 8x12 size is because at least one of the blocks in the project requires a hoop that big. In this case, the snowman block requires a 6x10 hoop, so you have to have that hoop size in order to make this size of the project. However, you look at the thumbnails document, here are the blocks for the 6x10 size. We'll see that they vary in dimensions. So even though the snowman block requires a 6x10 hoop, this little snowflake block is only 3.5 by 3 inches. It could be stitched in a 4x4 hoop. So that's helpful information. Depending on what hoop sizes you have with your machine model, you can save a lot of stabilizer because you don't have to use a 6x10 hoop for all 5 design files. Some of them may fit in a smaller hoop. Once you're ready to head to your machine, you've got a couple options. Now, me personally, my computer is very close to my embroidery machine, so I can pull up the instructions and color charts on my large monitor and reference them that way. But you may prefer to have something in your hand. So, of course, you can always print off the color charts and instructions, and that might be helpful because you can make notes on the exact threads that you're using for each step, check off the steps of the instructions as you go. If you still prefer something digital, you can always transfer the PDF to a tablet and read it that way. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of our downloads. One quick caveat, I focused on projects that originate from the Designs by JuJu team. Through the years, we have acquired files from other companies, and so the instructions that you receive with those purchases may look different or have slightly different content, but you will always receive exactly what you need in order to complete the project that you purchase. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us by either filling out the contact form on our website or emailing us directly at support@designsbyjuju.com. Happy stitching!